Wakanda!
Forever.
Wakanda forever. Welcome back, everybody, to Brohood Productions on YouTube, the precious YouTube. We are here to give you our Wakanda Forever review. So we're going to react to the movie. JP and I, we were joined by our good friend Channing, but we can excuse him today. After we react to the movie, JP and I are going to introduce our cinema score. It's a grade point scale that JP will explain in a moment. We will give you the Broho Productions A-OK, entertaining, or no-go watch. We'll come up with the better names later. And then we're going to give our overall rating of the movie. So give us that grade point scale. We'll react to the movie. We'll give you our scores.
So our cinema score is going to be a grade point scale. You either get an A plus, the movie, not you, the movie either gets a plus, A minus, B plus, and so on and so forth. It's out of 50, and we have five criteria cri criterias. Is that how you say it? You're the Englishman. So we're gonna rate the villain from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. The hero, the story, the flow. And what we refer to flow is scene by scene, how the movie progresses to its climax and how they close the movie. And then the last thing is just the acting. And everything's out of 10, like I said, 10 being the best. So that's a quick rundown.
Quick rundown. So let's. JP and I had three solid expectations for the movie. First, will it live up to the original Black Panther? Two, will it honor Chadwick Boseman? May he rest in peace. And three, will it live up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything that Kevin Feige is trying to do? So, to answer these questions, let's get one thing out of the way. It is not the first Black Panther movie, but that does
You
not
got
mean it
treated
wasn't good.
like a different movie.
So, does it live up to the original movie? I would say yes. Did it honor Chadwick? I would say yes. And did it live up to the MCU? I would say yes. And the reason I say yes, and you've already seen this all over social media, is because although we liked Doctor Strange and we liked Thor, Wakanda Forever was better than both of those movies. So it did do everything we wanted. Did it do it perfectly? No. But did it do it? Yes. Um, I would say my absolute favorite part of this movie was El Hijo Sin Amor. Namor. I would say Namor was the best part of the movie. Um, the way they integrated the story, how they changed Namor's origin, awesome, phenomenal. Um, I didn't. The movie didn't bring me to tears. Now that's not to say that it wasn't an emotional movie. It just didn't. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
wanted to cry so bad and
I
some
did too. I wanted to cry. The part that almost
held
got me
tears
there
in.
was the beginning, of course. If you haven't seen it by now, it's kind of sad because you have to relive Chadwick not being there with you, and that's hard. And then the second scene, for me at least, that felt pulling on the heartstrings was when she's remembering him at the end.
Mm,
So
yeah.
those are like my peak reactions to the movie, except for I can't wait for Black Panther 3 because Prince T'Challa should be the next Black Panther. Overall reactions, bro, for the Wakanda.
Yeah, so the question I would ask if may he rest in peace, if Chadwick would be happy with the movie, and I think it's a yes. I've had some time to listen to some of Variety, Fandango, Full Access, all these YouTube channels that are able to interview um the actors and director, and I think he would be very happy with the movie. Um, I think it's even a harder question if the movie is a tribute to him, because um I think it's more about how Wakanda will keep moving forward despite adversity and trials, like losing King T'Challa and like losing some of the tradition. Obviously there were some things I would change. I don't, I would, I wouldn't, um, I wouldn't have Ironheart in the movie. She was fine. She was a nice comedic character. Um, the mother dying, spoiler alert. Um, I know there had to be something to push Shuri in the direction that she did. Um, it really listening to Ryan Coogler, um, if that's how you pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. But he had a lot of ideas, and honestly, like he always had the help from Chadwick in the beginning for creativity and story arcs. So it was a lot of him just by himself trying to think about how story arcs should finish in a movie. And so with Shuri, I when I saw Killmonger, nice. Killmonger came back, cool.
Uncle
But
Beecham.
honestly, maybe eventually she did see her mother. But I think that maybe they could have had a mother and daughter fight. And then when she was about to kill Namor, maybe that's when she shows up again like normal and says like, show him who we are, who you are specifically. So, but overall, I loved it. Namor was BA. I cannot be more happy. Also, I feel like the MCU held back on his powers. I know everybody will criticize me, but I do not like Aquaman. Jason Momoa is cool, but in the comics and before the New 52, he was a weak punk character. But Namor, the Submariner, now he is boss. And so I just love the introduction in the movie when they just tease him, and I'm like, ooh. And then when you finally get to know him and stuff, obviously I like the culture representation. Like I think it's very humble. Um I think you pronounce his name Temoch, maybe,
The Nook?
right? Temoch? No, I think it's Temoch because I've been listening too much to his interviews,
I thought his
but
name
he
was
says he
Tenoch Huerta. Tenuch. Tenoch.
yeah, well, I'll have to listen again to one of the interviews, but he's truthful. He's like, I do not have Mayan descent, but to represent Latin America was a great honor for him. So, and I think everybody, some people say like, oh, if you're not Mexican, like, this doesn't really count for you. But I'm like, if you speak Spanish, you have Latin heritage.
Mhm.
That's it. Um, and so I love that. Listening to the language, Atuma and Namora, I can't call them Atlanteans, but how would you say? Because the people of Talokan were BA, you know. So yeah, this is my overall.
If we had a
There's a few
rating,
things I would change,
I
but
I
yeah,
agree with most of JP's changes. Of course, the major change I would have is I would want Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman in the movie. That's, you know, I don't want to get emotional. talking about Chadwick. Um, but there could have been a lot of changes. JP kind of sort of hinted that I loved half of the movie, and then the rest of the movie I did not like. I think Shuri
Yeah, he
takes
walked out of the theater and he's like, the movie just sucked. Like halfway halfway through the end, and I'm like, okay.
it's just for me, Shuri takes a dark turn, in my opinion. And I personally believe that even though she listened to her mother, she has caused consequences for her choices and for her actions.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
chose to see Killmonger. And I think that's really important. Chadwick would have not wanted to see Killmonger. Okay. He's walking around all gangster like. I mean, it's cool that Killmonger's in the show, and it was very important that he was in the movie. But, anyways, I just feel like the movie took a dark turn once Shuri became the Black Panther. If we had a rating scale for the director, Ryan Coogler would get an A+. So I agree with
Yeah,
JP
he's
there.
fantastic.
Ryan, if Ryan Coogler, if you're watching, I need some help making a movie. But the biggest change I would make if we're sticking with this story, I would get all that Thunderbolt stuff out of the movie. Adding on top of what JP said, you could have found different ways to get to the end and stuff like that. But I would say you have to think about it this way. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the world of Wakanda is going to be its own story. You know us, we like how it interconnects, and I wanted a little bit interconnection because of Kang the Conqueror, Already, Multiverse Saga, all those kinds of things. But everything JP said about the changes, totally cool, totally agree. This is a phenomenal movie. You should watch it. If you fall asleep, like I know some people did, rewatch it. It's good.
Yeah, some people complain about the length of the movie.
It's like that. I mean, I agree with the other superheroes that are out there. Doctor Strange was too short. Thor was too short. You need to you need to build the story enough that you got to cover all your bases. Sure, maybe a little shorter. Maybe it didn't need to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. But Avatar is going to be 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
But yeah, I think JP and I are kind of on the same page with all of that. And I think it was the better Marvel movie of the year. Um,
I supposedly was the second highest grossing movie
of this year.
of this year. Yes.
Keep that in mind. So, there's a top other movies that have come out this year. We'll see when we give our end of the year review. We shall see. All right, we're going to give you the cinema score. Once we get better at YouTube, things will pop up and everything like that. But the story, we give it a 10. Very good story, very well written, very well acted, which leads us into the next score, which is the acting. 10. Angela Bassett, Mbaku,
She is a
woo-ha. I can't say it. I don't know how to say it.
very, very powerful woman. She did
Mbaku's not
phenomenal.
a woman. Angela Bassett, the queen.
What did I say?
I said something about Mbaku, and then you said very powerful woman. I was like, no, Mbaku's not a woman.
I was still talking about Angela Bassett.
Letitia Wright, good job. Of course, I think it's Tenoch Huerta. Yeah, so acting was a 10. Story. We decided to give the story a 7. Any input so people don't get confused?
No inputs.
No input. I guess we're going to leave
So
it at
far,
that.
we got a 10 for acting,
10
a
for
7
acting,
story.
10 for story. Uh, wait, what?
No. 7 for the story,
7 for story, 10
10 for
for
the acting.
acting. Is
You
that where
gave it
we
to
at?
what?
Is that where we are?
You no, I think you repeated yourself.
Oh, that's bad. Yes, story 7, acting 10. Hero status 9. Villain status
10,
10. Flow of the movie 8.
8.
And we have our mathematician here that equals
So that's an 88. So we
88.
give it a B plus.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever cinema score is a B plus. That's very good in our estimation.
But we highly encourage everyone to watch it.
Yep, you get
That's our
the
Brohood.
Brohood Productions A-OK.
Thumbs up. Go see it.
Go see it. Overall rating, I gave the first Black Panther a 9. The Wakanda Forever for me gets an 8.
Me too. 7.5, 8.
So that is our review of Wakanda Forever. We highly recommend it. Thank you for tuning in to Brohood Productions. Tune in the week of Thanksgiving for lots of cool FIFA stuff and for our review of Black Adam.
Brohood out.